just want to take a second to explain what I mean by functional movement. If you take the simple act of walking, there's a whole different chain reaction that goes right up from your feet, up into your hips, up into your upper body. And in order to be as efficient and as strong and as functional as possible, we've made this class where we exaggerate some of those movements. For example, stepping forward, we're going to take that into a lunge. And as your hips move to the left slightly, we're going to take that into a side lunge. So we're exaggerating the movements of walking to make us stronger and more flexible throughout walking. And that's going to have a crossover effect to running and many other activities that you may do, especially sports like tennis and skating and hockey. Alright, first things first, we want to work on the transverse plane. Transverse plane is a rotation plane, and we're going to get moving through our hips and through our back. So I'm going to keep talking as we're doing this. My name is Ed Paget, and the lady behind me is Lucy. In my left hand is my watch. So when I'm talking left and right and you're getting confused, look at my hand and you'll see my watch, and that will tell you where my left hand is. Okay, take some deep breaths here. Let's get settled into some activity. Get the back moving, get the diaphragm moving. Let your hips move as well. So as I turn to the left, watch. My hips turn to the left. As I turn to the right, my hips turn to the right. Now I'm lifting off the foot as well. You can move your head with your hands, or you can keep it still like I'm doing. There's a slightly different reaction up through your neck on either one of those movements, so it's a good idea to do both. Okay, I want to change that slightly now. So as you go left, watch, as you go left, the foot's going to turn up and you're going to sink down on this foot slightly. As you go right, you're going to sink down onto your left foot. So when I go left, I sink on the right foot, and I go right, I sink on the left foot. The hands should be just loose, almost like loose appendages, and they're just tapping and flapping around your hips. Let your head go with this. You'll get some nice movement up through your upper back, into your hips, getting a stretch down into your Achilles, which is the muscle, or Achilles tendon, which is the tendon on the back of your lower leg. Okay, relax there. We're going to start again by getting some movement up into the upper back. So what we're going to do now, we've just done the transverse plane, we're actually going to work in the sagittal plane, that's going forwards and backwards. So I want you to take your thumbs and point them forwards, and then bring them to point behind you as much as you can. So your thumbs pointing forwards, they're behind you. Now, as your hands and your thumbs turn backwards, your chest will open and your bum will stick back out. So you get a little bit of arch in your lower back. Okay, then bring them forwards and tuck your pelvis underneath and kind of go into the sort of bad posture. So you feel a stretch across your shoulders. Okay, come back. So as you're coming back, your hands point backwards, chest opens up, and then tuck your pelvis underneath and go forwards. Alright, let's put a little bit more speed behind that. And you're just kind of flexing and extending, getting your hips to move, maybe a little bend in your knees. Getting your back kind of warmed up. Okay, stop there. So you can do some of these movements with dumbbells in your hands as well. If you're going to put dumbbells in, I recommend starting light, about 2 pounds, working up to about 5 pounds. And when you start doing this sort of movement with dumbbells in, there's going to be a momentum that dumbbells create, and your muscles will have to slow down that momentum. And that actually gives them a strengthening component. This gives them a lengthening component, and it does give them a strengthening component, but if you want to add to that, just put some dumbbells in your hands. And the same goes for all the exercises we're going to do through this class. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to take your right hand up in front of you and put the palm forward, and take your left hand back behind you and put the palm up as well to the ceiling. So both palms are pointing upwards. And then just change your hands. And as your hands come down through the middle, bend your knees a little bit. As they come up to the sort of full position, then you're going to straighten your legs. I want you to reach forward with the hand in front of you. So you're actually getting a little bit of rotation through your back and through your hips as you do this. And you should be feeling a little bit of a stretch into your arm that goes behind you and your bicep, into your shoulder. And in the front hand, you may be feeling a stretch through your palm. If you're really opening up your palm, you should be feeling a stretch through there and stretch into your own bicep as well. That's it. Keep going. You can go as fast or as slow as you want with this one. This is just exaggerating the movements of the hands during gait and the movements of the arms during gait. Okay, from here you can feel the tricep, so the bicep stretch behind you. And now we're going to bring in a tricep stretch. And the way we do that is take your right hand, put it up in between your shoulders, and then your left hand up in between your shoulders. So what you're doing here is really trying to get the elbow as high as it can go. And that is as high as it can go, so it's going to be up past the head as much as it can be. So you feel a tricep stretch, and you're feeling a bicep stretch on the other side. Okay, a couple more of these. And then relax there. Okay, so the shoulders are a little bit warmed up now. Upper back's had some rotation, flexion, extension. So we're going to go to our first muscle. The first muscle we're going to stretch here is the Latissimus Dorsi. And we're not going to stretch it in a normal way, which is a static stretch and hold it in one dimension. We're actually going to let it move in all three dimensions. So if you remember from your anatomy, or if you don't, you can always look this up. The Latissimus Dorsi goes from your arm here and into your back and down to your hips. And one of the big movements it does, or it will be stretched if I lean to the left. So put your hand above your head and then lean to the left. Then I want you to take a big step forward with your left leg and then bend slightly at the hips. And then turn your thumb to point down towards the ground and then come back. Okay, an analogy I like here is imagine if you're playing baseball and you've got a catching glove on this hand, on your right hand. The ball is coming across from your right hand side and it's in front of you and you need to catch that ball. How would you do that? You'd probably step forward and you would catch it with a twist into your hand. So that's the movement we're going for. So left foot goes forward, you're leaning to the left, hand down, you feel a big stretch up through that latissimus dorsi on the right side. We're going to do 8 of these, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep the back foot on the ground. 7, because it anchors your hips. And 8, good. And with that anchoring the hips, it means you get a longer stretch from that side of the latissimus dorsi. Okay, other side. Let's just go through the basic movements again. Put your left hand in the air, lean to the right as far as you can. Take a step forward with your right leg, bend from your hips, keeping a little arch in your lower back. Turn the thumb down towards the ground. Imagine you're catching the ball now coming in from the other side. Okay, repeat that. We're going to do that 8 times on this side. So, 1, 2, 3. Really reach out as far as you can go. 4, 5. Testing your balance here as well. 6, 7, 8. Good. Come back. All right. From the lats, we're going to work down towards around to the front, which are the pec muscles.